बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन इकराम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मुझे क़ायमज़ादी कहते हैं और आपकी खिदमत में मैं लेकर आया हूँ प्रोग्राम अपने दिल की देखभाल कीजिए। ये 4 प्रोग्राम ब्रिटिश हार्ट फाउंडेशन और हिदायत के ताउन से आपकी खिदमत में पेश किए जा रहे हैं। नाज़रीन इकराम, दिल के बारे में तो शायरों ने बहुत कुछ कहा है, लेकिन आज वक्त की कमी है और ये मामला काफ़ी संजीदा है। इसलिए हम ये कोशिश करेंगे कि आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मालूमात दिल की देखभाल के बारे में फ़राहम करें। कहने वाले ने कहा है, दिल नादां तुझे हुआ क्या है, आखिर इस दर्द की दवा क्या है। हमारी ये कोशिश होगी इस प्रोग्राम में और आने वाले प्रोग्रामों में कि कभी आपको दर्द दिल की शिकायत ना हो। इस प्रोग्राम में हम कवर करेंगे आखिर ये दिल की बीमारी क्या होती है, जिसे हम कॉरोनरी हार्ट डिज़ीज़ या शरीयानों की बीमारी कहते हैं। इसकी वजूहात क्या हैं, हमारे लोगों में यानी पाकिस्तानी, हिंदुस्तानी और बांग्लादेशी लोगों में ये बीमारी ज़्यादा क्यों है, और सबसे बढ़ के आखिर इस बीमारी का तदारुक किस तरह से किया जा सकता है या किया भी जा सकता है। इन तमाम सवालों के जवाब हमारे माशाअल्लाह बहुत ही काबिल यंग सर्जन, और मैं शुक्रगुज़ार हूँ मिस्टर मोमिन का कि वो तशरीफ़ लाए हैं। बहुत मसरूफ़, लेकिन फिर भी उनके दिल में लगन है। वो ये चाहते हैं कि खुदा न करे कोई भी उनके टेबल पे ना हो जहाँ वो ऑपरेट करते हैं। वो आपसे ज़रूर मिलना चाहेंगे, आपसे सोशली मिलना चाहेंगे, लेकिन नॉट ऑन हिज ऑपरेटिंग टेबल। और इसके लिए वो रियली पैशनेट हैं। और अभी उन्होंने हमारे साथ एक प्रोग्राम किया एक और इदारे में, और हमें उम्मीद है कि वो इसी तरह से हमारे साथ प्रोग्राम करते रहेंगे, क्योंकि हार्ट डिज़ीज़ प्रिवेंटेबल है और कहते हैं कि 80% तकरीबन इसका तदारुक किया जा सकता है सिर्फ छोटी छोटी तब्दीलियां लाने से। तो इससे पहले कि हम मज़ीद इस पर बात करें, सबसे पहले मोमिन साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आप यहाँ आए, आपने अपना कीमती वक्त दिया। प्लीज़ टेल अस लिटिल बिट अबाउट योरसेल्फ, व्हाट डू यू डू?
Thank you for the invitation. It's a passion of mine to educate. I'm actually a consultant cardiac surgeon at St George's Hospital in London. I've been there for nearly 2 years now. I trained as a cardiothoracic surgeon in London at all the different regional centres, including Barts, London Chest, Brompton, and my senior registrar at Hammersmith Hospital. Going way back, why am I here? Essentially, I trained at King's College Hospital at medical school, and then I went from there. I did my research there as well in looking at why arteries and veins which supply the blood to the heart and the new bypasses we put on, why do they narrow or fur up? And that was my research degree in the BHF labs of Professor AJ Shah, Dr. Mark Carney, who supervised me.
माशाअल्लाह माशाअल्लाह। ये वो लोग हैं जिनके साथ इन्होंने रिसर्च की है, जिनका नाम दिल की दुनिया में बहुत अहम है। इन्होंने बहुत रिसर्च की है और इनकी रिसर्च मोमिन साहब की इसी मौजू पे है कि आखिर ये जो बारीक बारीक सी खून पहुंचाने वाली शरीयानें होती हैं या आर्टरीज़ होती हैं, ये क्यों ब्लॉक होती हैं, क्यों फर अप होती हैं। तो this is what you have achieved is amazing, and what you are doing is absolutely amazing. Now tell me, what is coronary heart disease? ये शरीयानों की बीमारी होती क्या है? What is it?
Okay, coronary heart disease, I'll take you first through what the heart has. So this is a model of the heart, and you have 3 main roads. 3 rasta hai that loy or blood goes to the heart from. One is to the front of the heart, called the LAD, the left anterior descending artery. This is the most important artery and it supplies blood to the front of the heart. Now the main road it comes off also has called the left main. This is very small. and it's divided into two, one to the front, the LAD, and one round the back called the circumflex that goes and supplies blood to the back. We had another one called the right coronary artery, which supplies the right side. So this is where the three main roads or the three vessels that supply blood to the heart muscle, and this is what people call triple vessel disease or teen vessel disease. But always remember this, the front one is the most important one. Now, what is coronary artery disease? Now, these vessels, there's one at the front and the side. In most people, in Gore or English people, they're about 3 or 4 millimeters in size. So they're the width, half the size of this.
Half the size of this?
Half the size.
So tiny.
So tiny. But in our population, in Muslims or what we call South Asians, which is Indians, Bangladeshis and Pakistanis, the size of these vessels become even smaller, 1 to 2 millimeters. So this is about, I don't know, maybe 5 millimeters. So maybe 1/5 the size of this. So it's 1 to 2 millimeters the size. Now you can imagine if you have a pipe, or rasta hai 1 or 2 millimeter ka, over the years of the different problems you can have, which we'll go into later, that vessel or pipe can block up. Just like how you drain at home. When you put all the rubbish down the sink, it goes in the small pipe. How big is the pipe? After a while, if you open the pipe, you'll see the furring up of the pipe. Now, if your rasta is already, instead of being this size, is this size, and you fur it up with the ghee and all the rest and smoking, it's going to fur up quicker. And that is what's called narrowing or furring up of the arteries. And when it blocks off or becomes so narrow that the blood supply from here, they say it narrows here and blocks off, then there's no blood going to this part of the heart. So then that muscle doesn't get blood, and that's what's called a heart attack. So if you look here, this is what you show. This is a normal artery with good blood flow with no narrowing. This is with time, you get a furring up, the yellow part, and then this is when it becomes very critical. And when it becomes critical like that, you can see only a little bit of blood is going through. And that's when patients will get what's called angina. Angina क्या है? दर्द होता है. छाती में दर्द होता है. Now, it may not be sharp. It could, most people think it's a sharp. It's not. It's more of a heaviness, a tightness, a heaviness. कोई तुम्हारा पर बैठता होता है, इसका आवाज आता है. Some people get pain down the arms. Some people get pain down the other arm, up into the throat. And diabetics, unfortunately, don't get any pain because they have neuropathy. So most of them don't even get pain. They may just get a slowing down or tiredness feeling. So it's very important. This is good flow, and as you progress this way, then it's when you get more symptoms.
तो बेसिकली हमने काफ़ी चीज़ें कवर कर ली इतनी देर में, और उसमें जो सबसे अहम बात है वो ये है कि हार्ट अटैक के साइन और सिम्टम्स क्या होते हैं. इसमें हम थोड़ा सा और डिस्कस करेंगे, और मैं मिस्टर मोमिन से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा और बताएं. सो प्लीज़ टेल अस लिटिल मोर अबाउट साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स, बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड पीपल डू गेट कन्फ्यूज. व्हाट इज़ इट? इट मे बी इंडिजेशन, थोड़ा समोसे ज़्यादा खा लिए, या पराठे जो रात को खाए देर में, उसका ही असर है. ये इसके सिम्टम्स और क्या होते हैं? और भी कुछ होते हैं? आर देयर एनी अदर सिम्टम्स? And how do we know?
Okay, symptoms can be very varied depending on on different people. Some people have very minimal symptoms, like a lot of diabetics may not get many symptoms at all. They will not get the classic angina. So what is classic angina? The classic angina, which any doctor will recognize, is a heaviness or tightness that's on the left-hand side of the chest. It goes up into the throat or into the neck, goes into the shoulders, and they get a heaviness down the left arm, like a weight, like कोई खसा बैठ गया वजन होता तुम्हारा ऊपर. Now that is the classic angina, but not all patients will have the classic angina. Some people may get a sharp pain. Some people only get indigestion, and some people won't get anything but shortness of breath. So it can vary. So that's what's called a symptom. So what you feel is a symptom is something that you feel you can report to the doctor or tell someone medical. This is what's happening. Medical. This is medical. छाती में दर्द आता. Medical सांस चढ़ता. That's a symptom. A sign is a physical sign that a doctor can elucidate. He will investigate. He can hear a murmur, or he measures your blood pressure. That is a sign. But the main point or take-home message should be from here. If you suspect you have angina, or you have pains in the chest, you need to go to your GP and report this, and he needs to send you to a cardiologist. A cardiologist is a doctor who then does all the specialist investigations to find out whether you have what's called coronary artery disease, as we described. And it may not be. You may not have coronary artery disease. They may do an angiogram or some other test and see that the coronary angiograms are normal. That's fine. Then he can be investigated for the indigestion via gastroenterologist or whatever. But the first thing to do, especially in our population, and especially if you have the risk factors, which we're going to go to a bit further, or you have a family history, is to rule out coronary artery disease. Because too many of our young population, and when I mean young, from 30 to 60, are not being diagnosed, are not taking preventative measures, and are having heart attacks at a young age, leaving the young families, you know, without a father or mother figure. And that's why we're here, myself and Kayan Bey, to try to get the education out there, to get people to go and see their GPs and make sure they're taking the heart disease seriously, because it is a really big killer in the Asian community.
बहुत सही, ये एक बहुत बड़ा किलर है और compared to general population, South Asian have more heart disease. You mentioned one risk factor why it may be. What are other risk factors for coronary heart disease? Can we go through one by one?
Okay. Well, there's 2 points to that. Well, we'll take the South Asian point at the end. When I say South Asian, what we're talking about is subcontinent Asian, Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis. But let's go through the risk factors one by one. The first one, and if you remember one thing from today's lecture or presentation or interview, is if you smoke, please stop smoking. And I say that very clearly. If you have children, tumhara bachche hai, if you want to do one thing for your child, and you'll do, I have children, okay? So I know you'll do anything for your child, yeah, because you'll give your life for your child. Well, please do one thing. If one person stops smoking today from this interview with me, my time and Kayan Bey's time and all the people here giving up their time for free has been worthwhile. Give up smoking. Smoking is a killer, especially in our communities, especially in Asian communities from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, because smoking is the biggest cause of coronary artery disease in our communities and is the biggest killer.
So I hear of smoking not only heart disease, it may cause around 50 odd diseases. So smoking, अगर आप सिगरेट नोशी करते हैं तो जैसा अजीज़ ने कहा, मिस्टर मोमिन कहते कहते मुझे ज़रा इतने छोटे से हैं ये अजीब सा लग रहा है, तो with all respect I will just call you Aziz.
Please do, please promise.
तो अजीज़ ने जो कहा सिगरेट नोशी, और इसके बारे में मेरा ख़्याल है कोई पिछले 25 साल से मेरा काम यही है, इनकरेज करना लोगों को कि अगर आप सिगरेट पीते हैं तो सिगरेट नोशी तर्क कर दें। सिगरेट नोशी अगर आप तर्क करना चाहते हैं तो उसके लिए आपको मदद मिल सकती है अपने जीपी से, अपने डॉक्टर से, अपनी फार्मेसी से। और बहुत से लोग ये सोचते हैं कि जब हमें छोड़नी है हम छोड़ देंगे। यकीनन जब आपको सिगरेट छोड़नी है आप छोड़ सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर थोड़ी सी आप मदद ले लें, हेल्प ले लें, तो आपके लिए ये मरहला आसान हो जाएगा। तो सिगरेट जो है वो क्यों इतना नुकसान करती है अजीज़, दिल को स्पेशली?
There's a very simple chart that you've kind enough brought in, which I'd like everybody to focus in on, see? And it explains very clearly. So why are cigarettes bad? One, it damages lining of the arteries. What does that mean? So these vessels here at the front of the heart, they're already narrowed. Smoking damages the inside of those arteries further by causing more furthering up, making them more unstable, making the lining and damaging it, that more things will stick to it. Okay? It also reduces the oxygen supply, and there's other various factors, but the main thing you've got to remember is this smoking damages those arteries, those inside of the pipeline, making it more susceptible, narrowing and damaging it. So smoking is a no-no. If you want to control heart disease, and in our communities, unfortunately we're genetically predisposed. Because one, like I said earlier, our arteries are half the size of the Caucasian population. And secondly, there's been a lot of research done recently on various aspects, but it's been shown that ethnicity, South Asians, Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis have a predisposition to coronary artery disease, and our mortality rates are not falling as quickly as all the other ethnicities in this country. So if you look at Afro-Caribbeans, people from Africa and the West Indies, they don't suffer from coronary artery disease. Why do they not suffer from coronary artery? Well, there's various multifactorial factors, but one of them is their ethnicity. But they have another problem. They don't suffer from coronary artery disease, but the killer in them is strokes, because they inherently have higher blood pressure, and that's due to salt intake. So we need to slowly go through each of the factors. We will go through the factors, but one, please take home message. There's lots of help out there via GP to stop smoking, nicotine patches. If one person even stops smoking from today's program, the program is we've been successful, because those children will benefit.
जो अजीज साहब ने कहा ये बहुत सही है, और यकीन जाने कि एक शख्स भी अगर आज स्मोकिंग छोड़ देता है इस प्रोग्राम को देख के, तो यकीनन अजीज़ का टाइम, मेरा टाइम, जैन का टाइम, हिदायत का टाइम, हम सब लोगों का वक्त जो है उसका ज़िया नहीं हुआ, ये बहुत अच्छी तरह यूज़ हुआ है, बहुत अच्छी तरह इस्तेमाल हुआ है। और स्मोकिंग के बाद एक और हमारे यहाँ मसला है जिसको हम लोग बहुत आसानी से, बहुत आराम से लेते हैं और मजाक में बाज़ दफ़ा उड़ा देते हैं, वो है शुगर की बीमारी, डायबिटीज़। तो ये डायबिटीज़ आपने कई दफ़ा ज़िक्र किया, यू टॉक्ड अबाउट डायबिटीज़, you mentioned diabetes few times. What is the link between diabetes and coronary heart disease, and why is it a major risk factor?
Okay, we have five what we call major risk factors. We've talked about one, smoking, and the second one, especially in our community, is very important, is diabetes. And there's two sets of diabetes. There's one what's called type 1 or insulin dependent. This is more likely to happen to young people who are born with it, youngsters or juveniles. And what happens is their pancreas, which is an organ in part of the body which produces insulin, can't produce enough insulin or produce the right quality of insulin. So then they need insulin injected to work. But what happens more in our community is we wear out the pancreas by bad diets or eating too much sugar, or what's called type 2 onset diabetes, which happens more in the middle ages, in the 40s and 50s. And this type 2 diabetes is very heavily linked with coronary artery disease. And the reason again is that the lining of the vessels are damaged by the diabetes, and the patients with diabetes have much more prone what's called diffuse coronary diseases. So instead of along the artery having just one narrowing, diabetics will have 3 or 4 different narrowings, which makes the disease even more difficult to treat than someone who just has one narrowing at one part. So you can imagine if you have a narrowing just here, you can maybe use a stent, or maybe even just use one bypass. If you have lots of narrowings, then you've got to use lots of different bypasses.
हम चलते हैं, सॉरी माफ़ कीजिएगा, अब हम चलते हैं एक ब्रेक की तरफ। ब्रेक के बाद हम कॉल्स लेंगे, तो आप कोई भी सवाल पूछना चाहें अज़ीज़ से तो प्लीज़ ज़रूर कीजिए। हमारा टॉपिक जो है वो है दिल की बीमारियां, और मेनली शरीयानों की बीमारियां या कॉरोनरी हार्ट डिजीज़। तो हमें ज़रूर फ़ोन कीजिए, और अभी हम बात करेंगे और इस फैक्टर्स की, लेकिन डायबिटीज़ पे हम थोड़ा सा और डिस्कशन करेंगे वक्फे के बाद। तो इंशाल्लाह कहीं और नहीं जाइएगा, प्रोग्राम देखते रहिएगा, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोग्राम है और आपके दिल के लिए ये प्रोग्राम लेके आए हैं।